Namaste students, myself Sunil Kumar from the Department of Computer Science. Today we are moving to the next session based on the chapter Input, Output and Memory Devices. In the last session we mainly discussed about the input devices. So if you take the computer system mainly input device will be there, output device and mainly memory devices. So in last session we mainly discussed about the input devices. In that input device, first input device is keyboard. The first input device, most commonly and very important input device is keyboard. Then types of keyboard and different keys present in the keyboard, that already we discussed. And also we discussed the other input devices. Other input devices like mouse. Mouse have different types of mouse. Different types of mouse is manual mouse, scroll mouse, USB mouse and wireless mouse. So different types of mouse also we discussed in the last session. And after that we discussed about the joystick. Joystick is a device, one input device that is used for gaming purpose. After that we discussed about OMR. OMR means optical mark reader or optical mark recognition. And after that we discussed mainly about the OCR. OCR means optical character recognition. Optical character recognition. And last we discussed about the MICR, magnetic ink character recognition. Each input device has its own ability. Each input device, if you take it, that has its own ability and its own functionality. Different functions will be there. So if you have some function for OMR, some other function for OCR, it is not possible to compare with each other. Other than that devices, many other input devices are present that I am not going to discuss because that is out of syllabus. Here, today we are going to discuss about the output devices. What is the output device? Output device. Output. What before that going to output device? What is the output? Input means that is the data that we are feeding to the computer. That is actually input. What is the output? Output is the result or information. Output is result or information that obtained after processing. So when you are going to study the definition of computer definition is saying, so it will take the data and produce a useful information. So you are studying two terms there. One is data and one more is information. What is the data? Data is a raw facts or data that we will process. So in that we will get the information. From processing the data, we will get the information or useful data. That is actually known as processed data or useful data. That is actually known as information. That information normally we will say that result. The result or information obtained after processing. Result or information obtained after processing the data. That is actually known as output. The information must be in human readable form. So when you are going to represent the data or when you are going to represent the information, that should be in human understandable form. So if you take the input device, that input device will convert human understandable data into machine code. So inside the system, the data will be presented in the form of machine code. So after that, if you want to view the data, if you want to view the data should be converted into a human understandable form. Then only is possible to understand. Otherwise, humans cannot understand the data because data will be stored in the form of 0 and 1. 0 and 1 means low voltage, high voltage, machine level languages. In the machine level language or machine languages means it contains on low voltage and high voltage. So data will be stored in low voltage and high voltage. So whenever if you want to view that or whenever if you want to present in front of users, it should be in human understandable format. Either it may be in visuals also possible, sometimes audio is also possible, or sometimes any other method. So that should be understood by the user. Then only it will be the output or we can say it is an information. After that, most commonly used output device. What are the most commonly used output devices? Normally printer and the monitors. Monitors and the printers are the most commonly used output devices. Nowadays we are using monitors and printer. Other than, don't think that if I give only two units, don't think that only two output devices are present. This is most commonly used. Other than monitor and printer, many other output devices are available. Speakers are there, projectors are there, then floaters are there. So like a different output devices are present. But I am going to explain only these two here because when two is given in the syllabus, so I am explaining this is the most commonly used because without monitor it is not possible to work with the system. If monitors are not there, then it is not possible to work with the system. So monitors and printers are the mainly two output devices we are using all the days. Then first we will move to the monitors. What is a monitor? It is the most commonly used output device, most commonly used, and we can say it is the most commonly and very important, most commonly and also very important output device we are using. So it is also known as display screen. It is also known as display screen or visual display unit, or it is known as VDU, visual display unit or VDU, or we can say display screen. So that is actually the monitors. It provides a display, visual display of the data. It provides visual display of the data. I told data can be displayed in the form of visuals. So it will display the data in the form of visuals. So visuals means either image will be there or video will be there. Either images, text or video. That everything combined, that is actually known as visual. That data will be displayed or information, or we can say the result. That result also displayed in the form of visuals. The smallest dot. Before going to the types of monitors, the first some terms are there. How data will be displayed on the screen? When you are going to take any system, or when you are going to take any monitor, or if you take your TV also, in that image will be displayed in the form of dots. Image will be displayed in the form of dots. If you take an image of anything, if you take the photo of anything, if you take the picture of anything, just enlarge that. As much as possible, that much you enlarge, then data will be displayed in the form of dots. So if you are going to take the printout also, it will be printed also in the form of dots only. Here also data will be displayed in the form of, if you take the screen, data will be displayed in the form of dots. That dots are known as pixels. That dots are known as pixels. The smallest dot that can be displayed called pixels. In a screen, data will be displayed in the form of dots. In that small unit, small dot that can be displayed in a system or displayed in the screen, that is actually known as picture element or the pixels. Remember, understood what is a pixel? Pixel is the dot that can be displayed on the screen. Dots, a small dot that can be displayed, that is actually known as a pixel. It is also known as picture element. Then the height and width. The height and width ratio is known as aspect ratio. If you take the screen, one height will be there, one width will be there. So if you take the different monitors, if you take your TV also, then each TV not is the same height and width. The height and width will be changed. Normally it will be 4 into 3 ratio. Normally 4 into 3 ratio will be there for display units normally. So, but some devices display length, height and width will be different. Height of the display and width of the different display will be different. The height and width ratio, height and width ratio is actually known as aspect ratio. Aspect ratio means height and width ratio. The next one is the number of pixels. The number of pixels that can be displayed horizontally and vertically. If you take horizontally and vertically, the number of pixels dots will be displayed. If you take 1 inch screen, 1 inch I am saying, not 1 meter at all, 1 centimeter, 1 inch screen, the number of dots will be there. You take the 1 unit of screen, either 1 inch or 1 centimeter. Count the number of data displayed horizontally, vertically. If you take the horizontally and vertically, how many dots are present? Means how many dots, how many pixels are present. That is actually known as the resolution of the monitor. That is known as resolution of a monitor. What is the resolution of a monitor means? That is the pixels displayed horizontally and vertically. Number of the pixels displayed horizontally and vertically, that is actually known as resolution of a monitor. The resolution of a monitor determines the quality of the monitor or quality of the display. And when you are going to display the data, some system if you take which will say the poor display is there. Display is not good. That much display is not good. Normally, when you are going to purchase TV and all, you will say normally. So this picture quality is not good. Picture quality is good in one more system, or picture quality is good in case of that monitor. So what is that? That is the number of resolution. You can say the resolution of the monitor. Resolution of a monitor that determines the quality of the monitor or display. Now the quality means here, whenever high resolution is there, high resolution means number of pixels should be more. Within a inch or within a square unit, the number of pixels is more means, then we can say clarity or quality of the data is more, or the quality of the monitor is more. So remember, based on the resolution, we can say the quality. How we can say the resolution? Based on the pixels. Pixels should be more. If we take the horizontal and vertical, number of pixels is more means whenever number of pixels is more in horizontally, vertically, then can be display the high quality images. So here what we discussed, one is output device. Output device mainly useful display the result or information. After processing the data, we will get the result or information that should be displayed to the users. The information what we are displaying, that should be human readable format. That should be in a human understandable, not readable always. It should be understandable format. So when you are going to, can't say the readable. Reason is, when you are going to listen the audio, so I am not reading that one, it's a understanding. So should be in human understandable format. Then there are most commonly used monitors and printers are the most commonly used output devices. Then here monitors. Monitors is a most commonly used output device and it is being also known as VDU, Visual Display Unit or Display Screen. Visual Display Unit or Display Screen. Then what is a pixel? Remember what is a pixel? Pixel is the small dot that can be known as pixels. See, smallest dot that can be displayed. Smallest dot that can be displayed on the screen. Smallest dot that can be displayed on the screen, that is known as pixels. And what is the next one is aspect ratio. Aspect ratio means it is height and width ratio. Height and, if you take the monitor, height and width ratio is known as aspect ratio. The next one is resolution of a monitor. What is the resolution of a monitor? Resolution of a monitor is, it is number of pixels displayed horizontally and vertically. It's a total number of pixels displayed horizontally and vertically, that is known as resolution of a monitor. Then you can say high clarity image or high clarity display means number of the pixels should be more, we can say. Otherwise normally you can say the resolution of the monitor is high means it will provide the high clarity images or high clarity display. Now we will move to the types of monitors. Here what we discussed about monitors, and here the types of monitors. There are different types of monitors available. In earlier days we were using the first type of monitor, that is known as CRT. In older days we were used to with the CRT monitor. CRT means it's a cathode ray tube. I'm not going to explain the principle or working of the CRT monitors. In older days that Doom TV was available. That type of monitors are known as CRT. It is known as cathode ray tube. Cathode ray tube. Here we are using the picture tube. Based on that one, this data will be displayed on the screen. That is an older method of displaying the data on the screen, that is CRT. After that, next version of the data monitor, the display monitor, that is actually the LCD. LCD means it's a liquid crystal display. It is liquid crystal display. Liquid crystal display means it uses one crystalline technology so to display the data. And that also you can see nowadays you can see that one. If you see the calculator, just press the calculator screen. So crystals are moving. You can see the crystals are moving. That type of monitors are known as LCD monitor. LCD means liquid crystal display. After that, next type of monitor, that is thin film transistors. After that, next type of monitors available, that is thin film transistors, what is the TFT. TFT monitor, based on the transistors to produce a light. Based on the transistors it will produce the light. When you are going to heat the transistor, some transistor will produce one color, one more transistor will produce one more color based on the heat. So by using that one we were displaying the result. And finally nowadays we were not using all these types, we are using the LED display, or means light emitting diode. It is known as light emitting diode. Small light emitting diodes are used to display the data. So it will be easier and it will be cost will be less. If you compare with other, cost will be less and also energy will also required less. Less energy is required to display the data. Nowadays we are using LED. These are the mainly 4 types of displays we were used. One is a CRT, second one is LCD, next one is TFT, last one is LED. These are the types of monitors. After monitor, next what is the output device? Next output device is the printer. Before moving to the printer output device, you have to know the two terms. You have to know the two terms. The terms are, one is hard copy and one is soft copy. What is a hard copy? What is a soft copy? Soft copy means whenever data is present on the memory, or we can say data is stored in the memory. When data is stored in the memory, that is actually known as soft copy. That is actually known as soft copy. Whenever data is present on the paper, that is actually known as hard copy. Remember, whenever data you can see physically. Physically means whenever data is present on the paper, that is actually known as hard copy. Whenever data is present in the memory, that is known as soft copy. What is the soft copy devices? Soft copy device mainly is monitor. Monitor is one example for soft copy device. What is hard copy device? Hard copy device example is printer. Printer is example for hard copy device. By using that one, we will get the hard copy. By using that one, so if you use a printer, we will get the output as in the form of hard copy. If you use the monitor, we will get the output in the form of soft copy. Remember what is hard copy and what is a soft copy. So here we are going to discuss what is types of monitors and hard copy and soft copy. Hard copy devices are monitors and soft copy. Hard copy device is printer and soft copy device is monitors. Soft copy means data is present on the memory. Hard copy means data is present on the paper. Now we will move to the next output device, that is printer. One is output device what we discussed is monitors. Next we will move to the one more type of output device, that is printers. What is a printer? Printer is an output device. It is the most commonly used output device that prints images or text or data. Normally we say images, text or data on the paper. Remember, it displays or prints the data or images. Normally we will say data. It contains images, text, line, whatever it is, that displays on the paper. That type of devices are known as printers. Here it is a hard copy device. Remember, this one is not a soft copy. Printer is hard copy device, monitor is soft copy device. Hard copy means whenever data is present on the paper, that is actually known as hard copy. Here, if you take the printers, printer is one hard copy device. Then different types of printer vary in speed and print quality. If you take the different kinds of printer, there are different types of printers will be there, or different printers are there. So we can categorize the printers. It's possible to categorize the printers in different categories. So we can categorize based on its speed, mainly based on the speed and printing quality. Based on the printing quality and based on the speed, we can categorize, or there are several kinds of printers are available. So printer is one output device that is used to produce the images or text or data on the paper. That is to produce, or that is to print the data on this paper. That is used to print the data on the paper, and this is one hard copy device. It is one hard copy device. Then if you take the different printers, the printers is varying based on the different kinds of printers are there. That is varies based on the speed and printing quality. So now we will move to the types of printers. The printers, if you take the printer mainly are of two types. Remember, see the figure here. You can see the diagram here. So here you can categorize the printers. Printer mainly are of two types. The first type of printer is known as impact printer. Second type is known as non-impact printer. Remember, printers is mainly are of two types. The first one is impact, second one is non-impact printers. What is the impact printer? Before going to impact, I will explain the types first. So impact printer again divided, there are different types of impact printers are there, but only two is given here. So I will explain only two. There are different types of impact printers are there. One is here given is line printer. One is line printer and dot matrix. Line and dot matrix is example for impact printers. If you go for non-impact, here inkjet, thermal and laser. Not only these three types, there are different types are there, but I am explaining only total these 5 types of printers. So remember, Printers mainly are of two types. Printers mainly are of two types. One is impact, one is non-impact. Impact and non-impact. Impact is again of two types. There are two printers are there in impact. One is line printer and one more is dot matrix printer. Line printer and dot matrix. Then if you are going to see the non-impact printers, non-impact printer, the first one is inkjet printer. Inkjet printer, one more is thermal printer, last one is laser printers. So what is the impact and what is the non-impact? What is the impact and non-impact printer? I told there are two types are there, two types are available. What is the impact printer and what is the non-impact printer? Impact printer, that will create impact on your paper. When you are going to print the data on your paper. Papers are there. Normally it will create one impact. Punching impact will be created. Punching or striking impact that will be created on your paper. Means each letters are going to hit on the paper. Each letters that is covered with the ink that is going to hit on the paper. So it will create one impact. So if you see some railway tickets, if you are going to see any other tickets and all, if you see the back side, so you can printing impact will be there. So printing impact, if you write anything, if you see the next page, one impact will be there, writing impact. So like that, in printers also, that pins, sometimes pins will be there, sometimes some letters will be there. That is going to hit on the paper. If you see the old typewriter, if you see the typewriter, press any key, that equivalent key is going to hit on the paper. So like that, it will produce the data. So that is the impact type. So it will create one impact. Normally say it will create one impact on the paper. Sometimes pins are going to hit, or sometimes letters are going to hit on the paper. So that is impact. Then non-impact printer. Non-impact printer means it is not going to create any impact. Either spraying the ink. In case of non-impact, either is going to spray the ink, or by using heating the paper, or sometimes it uses the laser beams, like that. Different types are there. So based on that, images are created or images are produced on the paper. That is non-impact printers. One is impact and non-impact. There is one difference. One more main difference. It is not possible to produce graphics in impact printers. Not possible to produce the graphics in case of impact printer. Means it is not possible to produce the images. Or it is not possible to print the images on the paper. That is impact printers. Non-impact means it is possible to display the data or images. Images is possible in case of non-impact printers. So remember, printers mainly are of two types. One is impact and non-impact. So after non-impact and impact is again divided into two types. Impact printer is again divided into two types. Non-impact printer is again divided into three types. Three types of non-impact is given here. So remember, not only these five, there are different types of printers are available. Here if for given line printer, dot matrix printer, inkjet printer, thermal printer, laser printer. Don't think that only these five printers are available. There are different types of printers are available in the market. Daisy wheel is there. So like that, different types of drum printer is there. Daisy wheel is there. So like that, different printers are available. But only five is gone in the syllabus. So I am explaining only these five for you people. So by here I reach the end of session today. In this session I mainly explained about output device. What is output device? Output device means that is produce the data on the screen or paper. There are two types of output devices are available. One is printer and monitors. I explained with the monitor with the four types. There are four types of monitors are there and some terminologies. One is what is a pixel. I explained what is a pixel. Then also I explained the aspect ratio, resolution of a monitor. These are things I explained. And after that, types of printers. Types of monitors. Type of monitors, one is CRT monitor, LCD monitor, LED monitor and TFT monitor. These are the four types of monitor what we discussed. Next we discussed about hard copy and soft copy. Important one is hard copy and soft copy. Hard copy means whenever data is present on the paper. Whenever data is present on the paper, that is actually known as hard copy. Whenever data is present on the memory, that is known as soft copy. So next I will start with the printers. Printer, what is a printer and types of printer. Printer mainly are of two types, that is impact and non-impact. Then impact printer again line printer and dot matrix is the impact printer. Inkjet printer, thermal printer and last one laser printer, that is the type of non-impact printer. But here I will wind up my today's session. Thank you.